Hey STEAM team, let's start a new project from scratch in WeVideo. As soon as you log into WeVideo, you'll notice you have template options, which are great. It's also nice to get to know WeVideo by just totally starting your own. So for that, you would click Create, give it a moment, it will load, and boom, you have your from scratch creation board, dashboard, whatever you want to call it. So to get to know this area, first it says My Project. If you hover over, you can rename that. I highly suggest renaming that first. So let's say using robots to solve problems. Then click, boom, you've given it a new name. That way, just to give you a heads up, if you click back, these are all of your recent projects. You will see a very specific name. Otherwise, if you don't name it, it will just name it My Project, and you end up with 10 My Projects that you have to click on to see what was that I was doing. So back into the intro. If you look at your creation board, you have your menu for media. Once you click on, say, videos, you see the options. So you can scroll through, you do have some options there. And then if you were to click one, you see this is the preview. So this is showing you this is what it would look like in your video. This does not mean it is part of your video yet. This is your timeline down here. So anything in this timeline is actually in your video. If you were to say you wanted this, you need to actually drag it down to that correct layer. Which brings us to the layers. So all of these are happening at the same time. If you click your spacebar, this is your playhead. It is showing exactly the time that all of these things are taking place. So let's hit my spacebar again, and I'll just demonstrate those layers. If you have text, let's give it a title. So let's click on titles. That's your title there, and let's drag it down. Once it's in your video, now you can see it's layering over, and I need to highlight the text. Then I can double click right here, boop, boop, and now I can change that. So this is my title, using robots to solve problems. I can type. Then it isn't visible on all Chromebook screens because some of them are smaller, but find the done button. Aha, now if I click spacebar, using robots to solve, so you'll need to work on the placement of that. You can actually just hover over your screen here and move that around. But you see, these are playing at the same time. You can also add audio. For example, you would come over here, just pick one, let's drag the audio right down. If you hit spacebar, everything's happening at the same time, spacebar. Now, over here, you have a little dragger. This is how detailed you want to be working with. So right here, this is showing how, like, the length of time elapsed. This is 1 second, 2 seconds. So this is really where you can get to some detail. But for the most part, when you're just starting out, you can make it really broad so that you can get a good visual of all of the things that you have added. Click on the rest. There's so much more to look at, but that is the summary of the workspace you have when you first start a project. Have fun.